Hello, this is David Carney. I'm a co-founder of Anabe Institute, and I'm pleased to welcome you all to this conversation with the spiritual teacher Manjit. Uh, I had mentioned in the invite to people, uh, I discovered, I found, I don't want to say I discovered Manjit. I found him for myself on Twitter, or maybe it was X at the time. I call it X Twitter, and just loved all his tweets where he speaks, to my mind, primarily of his experience of truth. And then somehow we started WhatsApp chatting, and I just find Manjit very congenial, very responsive and accessible. And then I thought maybe I could share him with others. Well, first I thought I'll just interview him on Zoom here, and he suggested I could have others sit in with me, and so we widened the circle a bit, and we may have other people join us. So welcome to you all, and special welcome to you, Manjit. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So just to get started, I had one of your tweets which said, "You are lucky if a seer lives in your lifetime. Ask him questions to end your doubts so that your mind is clear about the nature of God." And so I think, Manjit, that you may identify as a seer, and I'm hoping that we can use this evening to bring up any doubts that we may have, and that you can address those as they come up. I had another interesting tweet that you had that is kind of in contrast to bringing the doubts forward. Is you say there is no way to awaken the truth within. It just has to awaken. It will awaken when it finds you suitable in terms of truthfulness, honesty, and urge for truth. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with truth, Manjit?
Yes, David. Now, firstly, I will explain what I mean by truth. Now, truth is that these are those facts which mind cannot see. And since we cannot see them, there is suffering in life. Now, these truths relate to nature of desire, that is value of wealth, power. Secondly, it relates to uh, nature of attachment or relationship with our kin friends. Thirdly, seeing the nature of death. And lastly, seeing the nature of God or truth, what we want to call it. Since we do not see their nature, there is suffering. Now, I will go a little further. Now, if you come to understanding, you see, mind can understand the mechanics of a machine once the mind is explained. Mind can understand history once he reads a book. Mind can understand the laws of science. Now, again, laws of science cannot be seen. But once they are proved by experiment, mind can understand. But truth cannot be seen, so it cannot be understood. Now, why it cannot be seen? It cannot be seen, it is due to illusion. Like, we do not see nature of desire because we have illusion due to desire. That desire in us creates illusion which prevents us from seeing nature of desire or nature of wealth and power. Again, it is illusion created by attachment that we do not see nature of a relationship. Again, it is illusion created by fear of death and also by desire and attachment, which prevents us from seeing nature of death. So it is the illusion which does that. Now, mind, no matter what effort it makes, it cannot end the illusion because mind itself is the illusion. Mind basically is composed of or comprises of desire, attachment, fear of death, many other fears, and nature of God or beliefs. So mind cannot free itself from the illusion. You have to have a force which is a truth or God, which can only end the illusion. Now, truth or God is not what we read in Bible or Gita or any other holy book. A word is not truth. God is not truth. Word God is not truth. Truth is a living entity, all powerful, which is cause of all creation, and it is manifested in human beings in most intense form, in form of soul. Now we will come to the soul. Now our soul, initially it is totally pure and free, but it has got limitations imposed by the mind. And due to these limitations, illusion is created and the soul is not free, so soul cannot see truth. So whole aim of life is to free the soul from the mind. Now, two things happen in life. Normally, we human beings are guided by the mind. That is right from the word go. We pursue desire, we're attached to our families, friends. We fear death, then we follow God and beliefs, and that's how we spend our life. Now, the other entity in the soul is the truth. If somehow truth is awake in you, now that is the primary point. If the truth is awake in you, then the truth will lead us in the world. Mind will still be there. Mind will still be there until we are freed of the mind. But the truth will guide us in the world. Now, when the truth guides, it ensures that we are truthful and honest, do our work with motive. So it makes us lead our life like this. Then truth within us also questions the value of wealth, power, because all these things are going to end with death. So truth says, what is the value of these when death puts an end to them? Then this truth within also watches the world. And in my case also, I saw people who were very, very religious. Though they went to the temples and all, but I found them practically very dishonest. So I was wondering, no, at that time I was about 11 years of age when these questions came. So I was wondering, how come the scriptures which they read, temples which they go to, has not been able to bring any change in them? So then I questioned the worth of religions to lead us to happiness, joy, and freedom. Now, these questions remained, but I lived my life. Now, right from the childhood, in fact, this is what I'm told even in my village. Everybody in the village saw that this young boy is very truthful and honest. So, in the school, I will never copy. I will never tell a lie, which was appreciated by my school staff, by my principal. I will never do a thing that is wrong, and I will never allow a thing which is wrong to be done. Now, that happened when I joined army. I went to the military school at Balachadi, Gujarat. Then I joined National Defense Academy when I was about 16. Then I went to Indian Military Academy, and then I joined the army as a lieutenant. So when I was in the army as a lieutenant, I was put as a adjutant of the battalion, which is very important post in the infantry battalion. Now, my first test was that my commanding officer once called me. He says, Manjit, send my jeep to my wife. She is to go for shopping. Now, then I had about 6 months of service. I said, sir, I'm very, very sorry. Your wife is not entitled to free government transport. If I have to send, it will be sent on payment. He laughed. Then he came to the mess, office mess where we had lunch. He said, Manjit, this is my perk. I said, sir, this may be your perk, but this is wrong and I cannot do it. If you want to do it, then you change me. And throughout my service, my wife never sat in a government vehicle without payment because I just can't do it. You know that something within you just does not allow. So anyway, now I will only speak this much so far, then I'll continue further. Now, any questions which you have to ask, so.
Manjit, you speak about how nothing will do to awaken the truth in you, and it sounds to me like you don't recommend any practices like meditation or yoga
Yeah.
or prayer. Um, this is kind of cold comfort for those of us who may not have always been as honest and disciplined as you were from a young age. Um, what hope do you see for those who um, still struggle with desire?
Okay. Now the point is, there's no way. Just look within. Sit quietly, go for a walk. You will find something, speaking in you silently. Now, voice of God is silent. Now, firstly, I tell you how this voice acts in a person. Initially, when the truth is awake, you hear nothing. Nobody guides you. It is so natural for you to live in the way of God. It just naturally happens. Now, what is way of God? Truthfulness, honesty, kindness, working without any motive, standing for the right, fighting against the right. So this happens on its own. Now, as you go on in life, now such a person who lives very honestly, he has to face failures. Failures have to come. Now, when the failures come, mind feels a little bad, which it should. But ultimately, truth within frees the soul of the failure, and you see that you have lost nothing. So ultimately, what your needs are met by the truth. Of course, truth will make you work. It's not that you lie on the bed and truth will give you food. Truth will make you work hard, but will meet all your needs, but it will not meet your desires. It will make you fail in your desires so that you are free of the desires. And when you are free of the desires, then you will find that all that you wanted is within. Now, I'll tell you. Uh, I think I was about 35. I was a major then in the army. That was the day somewhere in the hills of Nagaland. I had such a joy because suddenly, thing came that I got such a joy and there's nothing in life which I lost. Now, that was the time my all desire had ended, but I had everything. And your desire is not being poor. You have everything which you have and much more, and permanently with you, which will stand with you in life and will go with you after death. So that is the ending of desire. Now, again, sorry, coming back, how do you people, what the advice to you? Again, only other than the truth acting from within, there is no other way. Go for a walk. Firstly, see, are you honest, truthful? You work without motive. Do you stand against the wrong? But wrong means not in the world over, but in your sphere of duties. In your working life. You can't reach all over the globe. There's something happening in China and go there. No. Just in your circle where your life work is, you have to see there. So just do that. Someday it will happen. That voice will get very strong, and when that voice gets strong, then you have no choice but to live truthfully, honestly, and kindly. You will be kind to people, and so it has to start from there, and it will be a beautiful life. People will oppose you, You will face some problem, but they will praise you the most. The dishonest people I also faced. Later on, they were the ones who trust me most. When I left my battalion in the army, they used to tell the other commanding officer, one person to be trusted is Major Manjit Singh. He stands by truth. So I had a lot of reputation. My men even called me God. That Saab nahi hai, that he is not an officer, he is a God. Because I stood for them. I was kind. I ensured nothing wrong happened to them. If there was a danger in the face of the enemy, I was leading in front. Even Pakistanis on the other side, we fought wars with Pakistan. They also used to praise me a lot because I was very helpful to them also when they had a problem. They talked to me and I always, get it done. So the way is there's no other way but you keep repeating, keep following, never follow. I say any person who feels he's a guru, he is misguiding you. Now I'm as much normal as you by by having seen the truth. I've just become normal. I've not become superhuman. We are not normal. Mine is not normal. But seeing the truth is becoming normal, which people call God, seer, what do you want to say? But I don't feel superior to anybody. I feel nobody is superior to me and nobody inferior to me. Hanji.
Interestingly, this past Friday, speaking of military, um, some of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in America, if I'm using the right phrase, um, were fired. And we have a new administration, as you may be aware, um, that's causing a lot of uh, unexplained changes that are not being done through proper channels. And when I mentioned this concern I had to you, not about the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but about the change in government, you said that when you are living in your higher mind, you are internally free and no system of government can have any effect on you, whether it's democracy, autocracy, communism, or any other system of government. Um, you We're here speaking to all Americans right now, and from your military perspective and the importance of chain of command, um, what doubts can you relieve for us as our nation seems to be switching sides, like, for example, from supporting Ukraine over to supporting Russia, um, suggesting that Gaza be cleared out for some development. There's a lot of changes afoot in America, and it sounds like you want us to work within our sphere of influence. So there's no point in just shaking our fists at people who are outside our span of control. Do you have any other ideas for what Americans can do um, with this change of government?
You see again now, again, as I said, that one who is free, he is not affected by any type of government. Now, the point is you have to reach that stage to understand it. You have to reach
Yeah.
that stage. So, now in that state, the truth meets all your needs. It gives you joy. Nobody can harm you, whether he's a Trump or anybody else, his colleague. Nobody can harm you. You are, as individual, you are free in United States, which is most important. Now, second is what is happening in your country. Now, if your reach is to the top, you take a stand against it. But since the people of USA has elected a person, so he has to work in his own way. If the public finds he is wrong, there's awakening. He can always be, what do you call it? He can be out of office. That's not the thing. But the point is, you remain, enjoy, you are happy, you are unaffected by it. But whatever action is in your reach, you can take. But whatever he does is not going to affect you if you are free. Because it's a very wonderful thing again in life. this truth, though you work, it will meet your needs in such a surprising way. Whatever you need will come in life. When you are sitting, like I remember once, my wife was not well. I had to show her in a hospital in Delhi. No, I did not know the doctor. I was not getting the appointment. I didn't know what to do. It was 10 o'clock. One, fellow in power, he knew me. He called me. I never told him. He says, Manjit, come. Everything will be done. Now, how did it happen? Similarly, all my jobs were done by the truth. People suddenly appeared before me to do the job. So truth takes, so you have now whole freedom and whole happiness in the USA will start from the individual. Now, if we want like happiness in a country, it starts from the individual. When the individual is freed, he releases spiritual energy. Now, this spiritual energy in an individual, wherever he works, it affects the people. I know in my life, whether in school or in the army, it affected the people. People liked me, they followed me, they still remember me. So you can affect like that, but it has to. Now, again, more the individuals who are living in truth, more the spiritual energy will be in a country and more happy will be the country.
One of your tweets says spread of terrorism and failure of the world to see its threat is indication that world is going to run into chaos and unrest. I know you also say a seer is not someone who makes predictions, but I guess again you would have us address terrorism by working within our own span of control and focusing on our own inner truth and joy.
You see, yes. Now, regarding the predictions, now why seer does not make predictions? Because the truth vision is going to make, everything's uh, going on well. In the life of a seer, truth will ensure all goes well. So where's the need to predict? He will get everything which is the best. Now, mind may not know that it's good for his seer because unless one is free of the mind will go its own way, but truth within will work in its own way. And so, since truth is going to do everything, so there is no need to make the predictions. Now, regarding the terrorism, if we see the world over, terrorism has greatly increased all over. India also, Pakistan, USA, Canada, Europe, I'm totally surprised. Now the way it's going, and there's no action to stop it. Now again, truth is not only internal, it has to act outside also. Now I give you example about Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, you must have known. Though he was again a seer or a god, what you want to call it, but he made Arjuna fight battle of Mahabharata against evil. So whatever evil is taking place, terrorism is taking place, the world has to stand against it. The way I see it now, I'm not making future prediction, but the way it's going and it will go. World is not standing against the terrorism. No, these politicians are not acting against certain people for the sake of votes. Or they have got some funny ideas, beliefs about secularism, humanitarianism. They do not understand that these are just their ideas. But when evil is actually acting physically in the world, it has to be stopped, which is not being done. So, since it's not being done, I see the future of the world to be very dark.
No, I would like this to be as open as possible. So Thea and Bruce, I welcome and encourage you if you have some thoughts to share or questions to ask. I'm happy to keep going, but I want to make sure that there's space for you.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Thank
We
you.
have, I have the subject of the response to what could be considered evil or evil actions in the world I brought that to a committee that is a sort of a managing committee for our seniors building. I'm 80 years old, and we live in 14 floors of seniors. And it's fascinating to me to see that some of the seniors look on the world that I consider to be evil actions or selfish actions, and they see no problem whatsoever. They are very pleased, and they mock anyone who considers that there is any kind of negativity uh, in process. That to me is a shocking realization, which makes me think, how can that person be so ignorant? How can they be so selective in their view of what to me seems to be a very serious problem that may destroy our democracy? And then I talk to others who are similarly concerned as I am, and so I know that I'm not alone. But with you, Manjit, I am interested uh, very sincerely in the spiritual truth, not only of myself, my soul, but also in recognizing the spiritual truth in those people who are acting in such selfish or even evil ways. Because I don't want to say I'm spiritual and they're evil, because I believe God has created all of us together alike as one, but we've wandered away from that oneness in one form or another. So my challenge is, what can I do in this difficult world with people that seem to be so uh, so far from love, so far from caring and thoughtfulness for other people. And so I that that sense of duality, which seems so real in spite of the deeper oneness, is a difficult trap that I need to overcome. So if you have thoughts on that, I would appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, you have put across this situation, what you face, every person who is awakened faces that. Now, firstly, what I will say is, you are awakened and they are sleeping, they are not awakened.
Right.
When the mind is awakened, mind sees all these things which you are seeing. Now, otherwise, mind is in the habit of looking at the positive side of the life, because mind cannot face that, see the difficult side. So mind has found escapes, like positive thinking, very silly thing to do. Why positive? See the reality, gratitude, just be thankful whatever you have, and be happy with the situation. Now, this is way of a shallow mind to live its life. But the one who is awakened like you, it sees the real danger. Now, since you are awakened with the time, maybe truth is already acting in you. What I see, truth. You said that full awakening, seeing of the truth may not taken place, but truth is already acting in you. That's why you are affected by all this. So you can do nothing. You can only speak, tell them, have your way. No, I will tell you. In my area, in my park in Sector 11, people, when I talk to them, they also don't agree with me. They say, no, you are very rigid. One should go with the world. But on the quiet, they all praise me. On my face, they say that. They all praise me. So that is the way. You can't do much, but you can still keep saying what you want to. Now, ultimately, it will free your life. and you will affect the people. It will set them thinking. Some change you will bring. Uh, now, sir, I'll come to another point. Now, you said there is seeing of truth. In fact, many people ask me, how do you see? What do you see? You know. So I had said the first point is truth acting in you. Once you say now your mind is vacant, vacant mind leads to awakening of truth. And maybe truth is already vacant in you. That's why you asking these many questions. And if truth is vacant, I can guarantee you, when you leave this world, you will come back again as a human being to restart from the same point. So now, after the illusion end, you start seeing the truth, that this is the fact. As I explained initially, truth truth has to be seen to be understood. When I lived from within, I never understood truth, but only when the illusion ended and I saw the truth. Like when illusion of desire ended, I saw nature of desire. When illusion of attachment ended, I saw the nature of relationship. So ultimately, it takes time and it is seen. So all that you can now do is just go your way, stand firm. An individual, you see, again, this world is of the mind. Let us face it. It's a karma bhumi in the Indian language. It is the world of action, and it will go on like this. Jesus came, Buddha came, many seers came. World has not changed, it will not change. Jesus was not understood, he was rather crucified. Buddha was not understood. Socrates, again, he was a seer, he was made to have poison. So world does not understand. We are lucky, we are in a better times, so nobody hangs us. But that time they were hung. So world will continue. All the world can do is for an individual to free his soul by living from truth within and rise above the world. Then you will come out of the matrix. You will not be affected by the ways of the world, but you will love the world. You will feel the pains in the world, but you will also see pains of the world are its own creation. Every individual who suffers, he suffers because he is not awakened. Truth is not acting in him, so you will not feel bad for him, but you will feel for him. So this world will go on, sir. Can't bring much change.
I have seen a very interesting drama occur on my own floor in the apartment building, in which this particular political party has identifying things, whether the language that they use or sometimes even the clothes that they wear will give you an idea that they belong to that particular party, which to me seems to be so off center, so unloving, um, so negative in many ways. And so as I saw a new person coming to the building to live in an apartment down the hall from me, I saw a red hat, which indicated that that person belonged to that particular party. And I thought to myself, oh, this is terrible. I don't want to have another person on the floor of that particular thinking, that party. And my inner voice said, look deeper, look deeper. I said, okay, he's not that hat. He's another human being. And there's more that I don't know about him. I will go and greet him. We are now very good friends. And we simply don't talk about politics, but he says, I want to let you know how much I value your friendship. You mean a great deal to me. You've been so very helpful. And so I think that that particular singular instance helps me to say other people whom I see as thoughtless, as callous, as limited, then I'm only seeing that they are at some point in their life, and so I need to go deeper. I need to not look at the surface, but know that deep within the truth is there in them as well as in me, and then work toward the uh, awakening or the awareness of seeing that truth in the other people. I've found that I can ask basically what I was raised a Christian, so I use the concept of the Holy Spirit as an active aspect of God. And I ask the Holy Spirit to help me to see another person differently, in a deeper way, and something opens. I perceive something deeper about them that gives me a peace and a comfort and a less defensiveness. And so I find that that has helped me to be able to move beyond my own limited ways of looking at people, and to be able to establish a deeper relationship with other people that reflects more peace and more love and more compassion. So I thank you for sharing your truth tonight with us.
I will say on this something. You see, if you heard a very famous English phrase, even devils worship virtue. No matter how bad a person is, he really praises a person who is virtuous. So that's what is happening, and that Holy Spirit is within you, which is guiding you. And certainly, all people have the same truth in them.
Right,
And when you are awakened, you don't want to hate them. You know that somehow they are not on the track. And you only pray they get on the track, because there is no difference between you and them. Rather, you will feel pity for them and not hate them.
right.
And
Thank you so much.
okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for a very, very, useful talk with you. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to echo what both you gentlemen said or have said it today about the kindness, that it just seems that you look at a person differently and you just offer them unconditional kindness. And it's amazing how many people respond to that. I think it's a better response than, get out of my way or negativity, by just offering kindness. As a Course in Miracles person, I look at how kindness breeds kindness, breeds kindness, breeds kindness.
Yes.
And that is something that my faith has given to me. And so what you both are talking about is that, look at a person differently, look at the situation differently. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you'll be able to see or feel.
Yes.
Oh, go
Now,
ahead.
should I say something on this? Now, regarding the kindness. Firstly, here also in Chandigarh where I stay, one gentleman met me. He said, Manjit, I just can't be kind. Kindness doesn't come in me. Now, as far as I'm concerned, everybody walks up to me for some help. I'm not very rich, but whatever money I have extra, I just give it away. Anybody coming. So people see me that he is doing it. Why can't we do it? Now the issue is mind lacks kindness. Mind can practice kindness. Mind can follow kindness, but it's not a true kindness. Kindness is a spontaneous act from the truth within. You will even give your food to a person when that kindness is there. Now, I will just tell you a small incident which I still remember. I was about 8 years of age in my village. There was one very poor family, our neighbors. They could never have any vegetables. They just, used to make some bread, eat, with salt or something. Their grandfather was very old. So his vegetable used to go from our house every day. And others, younger people used to manage whatever they had. So one day, and his grandson used to come and get the vegetables. I think I was about 7, 8 or something. So one day he came, and my auntie, my aunt, she told the boy that today we have no extra vegetables because we had guest. I was just about to have food. I said, Auntie, I'm not feeling hungry today. Please give my vegetable to him. Though, so he took the vegetable and he went. No, that so when I was 16, 17, I had joined your National Defense Academy. So then I was selected as an officer but undergoing training. I used to whenever I used to come on leave, I used to sit on that old man's cot. He used to tell me, Manjit, you were so small, you said this, but you were also hungry, but you spared the vegetable for me. Anyway, my auntie also, she could make out. And she gave me also some vegetable. So that is a sort of kindness. Again, I will tell you, one day I was sitting, my maid came. It was raining. She came on a cycle. So I asked her, Damanti, how have your children gone to school today? Uncle, they have not gone because there are no cycles at home. Because there was only one cycle which I brought. There are no cycles and they couldn't have walked. They've not gone. Immediately, I brought the money for 2 cycles. I said, now take this money and buy them the cycles. Another thing I will tell you, once she had a toothache. Now she's a poor lady. She can only go to a government hospital. She was working in my house as a cook and also with somebody else. So both the families, both the ladies of the house told her, doesn't matter after, so the hospitals were closed for 3 days. And she had such a severe pain, she couldn't last till then. So they said to take the painkillers and after 3 days you go to the government hospital. Go private, it's very costly. So she came to me, the uncle, but I just can't, I can't put up with the pain. I said, Manti, don't worry. I rang up a private dentist who was charging heavily. I said, look, we are coming and do the needful. I just went, took her there and got her treated and some good amount was paid. And I was so happy. I got such a relief, such a joy. And she still tells me, Uncle, why couldn't anybody else understand my pain? Not even my husband. How come you understood? So that is the kindness which goes. So it is spontaneous action. Again, love, I will tell you. Again, our mind has made it a formula, love everybody. How the hell can you love everybody? Can I love a terrorist? No. I love terrorist as a person, but not his actions. This love is again spontaneous for everybody. It is not an action of the mind. Mind has no love. That's all.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think I get it. I guess, my college training makes me think about systems. And so I think that may be a hindrance to me because you're talking about individual, something that comes from within one person. And I just think of, the young people in the movie Sound of Music, where they seem to be experiencing such love. And then all of a sudden, the young man has more loyalty to his military service than he did to his would-be girlfriend. And so I guess you're pointing towards authentic relationships, one-to-one in the moment, again, working within your span of control. And maybe I just need to let go of thinking about a system that encourages scapegoating and violence. We have a adjudicated felon as our president. We have one of his first actions releasing 1,500 adjudicated violent offenders from the January 6th insurrection. So those are systemic things. I don't know any of those people, and I guess I should just suspend my mind's thoughts about them and focus on the person who might be in front of me. Um, does that kind of resonate with what you're thinking, Manjit, or would you have more to add there?
Yes. Now, see, come to the loyalty. If you find a person loyal to one thing, like loyal to the army profession, and not loyal to his girlfriend or wife or brother or anybody else, then he is not really loyal. He is only, he's got a mindset, he's got a dedication towards that profession. Again, if I, as a president of USA, say, if I'm loyal only to my country, I'm not really loyal. I should be loyal to the humanity. Now, what lately
Yes.
is happening, you see, like with India also, that trade balance is going wrong. Doesn't matter. He can make the thing state that USA does not lose. But USA is the richest country. So as a president, there can be some kindness towards the country who are not that well off. So share your wealth to the extent you can with everybody. So if you say I am loyal to the USA and I do not bother about others, let them go to hell, you are not really loyal, frankly. Loyal spans entire spectrum of humanity. I will be loyal even to my enemy, frankly. I, in fact, I keep telling people, if somebody cuts my leg in the evening, amputes my leg in a fight, in the morning he comes to me for help, I will help him. That's my kindness. He had done his job. I've done my job. So this loyalty, it has to span all over. I'll give you one very interesting incident again. We were against the Pakistan, after 97, 71 war. Now, our cattle used to cross the border. Whenever Pakistani cattle came, we never used to return. When our cattle came, they never used to return. I didn't know about the rules. So one day my junior, he came, he said, sir, 6 cattle from Pakistan have come. She is a very poor lady from Pakistan, and their one officer, one captain, he wants to meet you. He wants the cattle to be returned. I says, okay, cattle will be returned, but now I'm going to my headquarters. I will talk to the commanding officer. When I reached, I told the commanding officer, he said, you are wrong, this cattle cannot be returned because our rules are they do not return our cattle, we will not return their cattle, and their cattle will be distributed to our people who lost their cattle going across the border. I said, sir, I have promised the lady. He said, what do you mean by promise? This is against the rules. I said, I promised. He said, no, I don't agree. I said, if you don't agree, I want to meet the brigadier general. So he then talked to the brigadier general. He said, this is what Manjit says, and these are the rules. He said, if Manjit says, return the cattle, let him return the cattle. I returned all the 6 cattle. And I was so happy. Pakistani from the other side said, sir, you are a god. If tomorrow there is a war, there will be no firing on you. And there was such a trust. And from that day, they started returning our cattle. And we had no incidents of firing this nonsense on the border. So this kindness is paid back. I mean, no, this kindness, no, the point is, I just felt kind to the, no, my police told me, sir, she's a Muslim lady. Hindus generally, Hindu Muslim, a lot of chaos. I said, she may be a Muslim, she's a human being. I'm a Hindu Sikh rather. Sikh is a sect of Hindus, I will say. I said, but to me, she's a human being. Her total survival is of the cattle. I will return. And I returned. So that is the kindness, which this is how it is supposed to work.
Very good. I think what our homework, our challenge is to continue to respond with loving kindness to every individual, and to be careful when we are tempted to see them in any kind of harsh way or a sense of defensiveness to whatever attack they may have toward me personally, and to say it's more important for me to keep my heart open to everyone that I'm with, and that will be the safest choice for me. That I believe is sort of the theme of my life, having experienced trauma earlier in my life and having chosen to pull back and protect myself rather than risk any kind of further harm from others. Now, at age 80, I think the answer is that no matter what, within reason, keep the heart open and allow that to be the avenue of approach and of being with others. And if they respond, that's lovely. And if they don't, then the response can come later, and that's okay. So.
Okay, sir. Now coming on to this. Now you see what you are saying is a feeling of a beautiful mind that you should, behave in such and such way. But the thing is, when the truth awakens, when truth itself awakens, then it spontaneously happens what you say.
Mhm.
Now, what you are saying, somewhat your mind has to feel that you should act in such a way. Then it spontaneously happens. You're spontaneously kind, good. So it is a spontaneous action of, of truth within. You see, now, again, one thing I would like to touch, like Bible. I've read the Bible. I've read Quran. I've read many books. But the awakening came to me when uh, I, when actually my soul was freed. Now, I'll tell you this. Now, when I was about 25, I lived my life honestly. I read Bhagavad Gita. Now, Lord Krishna's words were speaking the truth to me. When I read Bhagavad Gita at the age of 25, I was so happy that I got the answers, but yet I was not satisfied. I wanted to see the truth which Lord Krishna was talking. I didn't see. But from the words, I was happy. Now, that took another 10 years for me to end the illusion, which was again ended by not by Bhagavad Gita, by my truthful living. When the illusion ended, I immediately understood what Lord Krishna saw. That this is what Lord Krishna saw. So then Lord Krishna was not my God. We were friends. I call him my Jesus Christ, I call him my friend. Again, on the Twitter, I find a lot of nonsense against Jesus. The point is, Jesus certainly was a seer, he was a truth. But there are certain stories, which are written in many holy books. Now, why they are written? Because the Bible was written, I think, about 600 years after Jesus was no more. And it was not written by Jesus Christ himself. Now, those who wrote the Bible, they were not seers. And since they were not the seers, they did not see the truth which Jesus was, he stood for. So he created certain stories, funny stories. Mind tries to build up miracle against in the life of a sage so that he can believe he's a God. No such things are needed. So I'm not again saying about these stories, but we should separate the stories from the truth. If you see Jesus' life, otherwise, he's with the total truth. I separate him from the stories, whether right or wrong, they don't concern. So he was a total truth, and I call him my friend. Same Jesus Christ is in you, in every human being. Jesus Christ, Krishna, Buddha, Guru Nanak, every human, the truth, the same thing is with you. Once you reach that level of truth, they're your friends, not gods, not to be prayed. If they meet me, I'll meet them like friends.
Excellent friends.
Thank you, sir.
One of the things that I think about all the time is what would it have been like to be in audience with Jesus of Nazareth, to be not among the masses, but let's say a dinner where there were around a table or sitting and having food brought in and just listening to this man and how he talked and his gestures and how pure kind, one of the purest, kindest person. And that would be, if that could be experienced, I would love to have that experience.
Okay,
Yep.
ma'am, but please repeat because I'm not very clearly understood. Just say again. Our English is different. So some I missed. Just come again. Say your question again. Please say again.
Can you repeat what
And
you were saying, Thea?
Um, I always wondered what it would be like to be in presence, to sit among the few where Jesus was talking, eating a meal, having a conversation, bringing up some of the philosophies that he was talking about during that time. And just to be in that pure kindness and the comfort that pure kindness seems to bring out in people. And so that's a wonder of mine. That was if I could have that happen, if someone said, oh, by the way, come to dinner and we're going to have Jesus of Nazareth there. That would just be something that I think about. That is something I
well,
think about.
sure. Thea, if you would, David probably has your a way of contacting you, because I'd be glad to share that which you're looking for with you. I've for many years I've worked with helping people to remember their past lives, and back in 1977, a friend who you know Bill Thetford of
Well,
Bill and Helen.
yeah, I
And
don't know them, but I know who they are.
right, right. Well, Bill was a good friend, and he sent his former lover, Charles Lehman, to me. And Charles remembered being Andrew, Jesus's first
Yes,
disciple. And so, through a work of deep hypnosis, it helped him to remember the conversations with Jesus, and that's in print now. It's called the Book of Andrew
I have
by
read the book.
very good. Okay, so that to me is the best example of being in conversation with Jesus and sensing that kindness and that loving discourse. So I'm glad you have the book. So that's there. That's wonderful. Now we have
So
another friend of David. This is Jonc. Is it? Hello. My
This is
goodness,
John.
John. Oh, wonderful.
Welcome, John.
Thank you.
We got started an hour ago, so glad you could join us.
Oh, okay.
time flies.
India
when you're
is
time flies when you're having real good conversations.
You know, I wish I could remember the name of this Indian holy man who lived in the early 1900s. I was just reading up. He was famous, maybe you know him, Manjit. He was famous for writing letters to his devotees, and he was a strong exponent of reciting the name of Krishna. And just this conversation we're having about being with Jesus reminds me of many of his letters. He mentions repeating the name of Krishna is even better, a fuller experience than being with Krishna. And that's a little paradoxical and confusing. But when you're with Jesus, when you're with Krishna, you're seeing their form and you're seeing your, I mean, this is what he was saying, that you're interacting with them as, other people. But when you're saying the name of Krishna in a prayerful way, when you're repeating the name of Jesus, you are inhabiting their essence. So I just was reading those letters this week I really like that holy man. I'm trying to find his name. And there's a website that collects, I think, all of his letters. He was famous for writing to his devotees. And I just thought, such an interesting concept that the name of Krishna, the name of Jesus, is more powerful than actually sitting down with a Krishna or a Jesus or a Buddha. Just that was his perspective, and I think I understood it.
Yeah.
Can I say something on this?
Yes.
Now, you see, the point is that Jesus the truth, Krishna the truth. It is a universal truth. It's within you. So if you are with Jesus as a person, it's fine. But it is more important that you are with the Jesus who lives in spirit, Holy Spirit in you. If you are awakened, you will find the Holy Spirit of Jesus within, and that will be very enjoyable. Now, incidentally, again, when I was about 10, 11, I still remember. In Sikh religion, we have Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I used to wonder if Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who has got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, if he could attain this position, why not me? What's wrong with me? Though Nanak again is as good a seer as Jesus, as Krishna. So now who was asking? It was the truth within. And since that truth within asked, and it attained to that state. So rather than, so I said, I will, so he is very good, he does this, but why can't I do it? So now again, repetition of the name, it's only mind is repeating. You go into a trance. You are not with the truth. Mind can keep repeating, go into a trance, and in imagination, it's with Jesus. But if you look within, Jesus is the Holy Spirit within you. So that when that truth awakens, Jesus will be acting in your life himself. You don't have to be with him. And when your soul is freed, you will find the Jesus within. That Jesus and the Holy Spirit is in you. So that state is to be reached.
So your experience of the truth takes you beyond that trance experience. Manjit,
Yes, please.
your experience of truth is beyond like the trance state that might be evoked from repetition of the name Krishna or Jesus.
No, I think that the names should not be, at least anyway, the mind will repeat its way of the mind. But if the truth within is acting, it will not. It will not repeat. It will try to discover the truth. That where is the truth? Now, if we try to discover the truth in our holy books, we will find the truth which our seers had seen. If Christians try to see the truth in the holy books, that what is the truth Lord Krishna and Jesus is talking, that truth will be seen, discovered within, and only then you will know what the truth he was talking about, and then you will be the truth. You will be same as Jesus Christ. All the seers have no objection if you reach their state. They wanted you to reach that. In fact, in Hindu religion, Brahm Asmi. This is in Upanishads that I am the God. This Vivekananda has said many times. It is written, ultimately person must reach the state when he realizes that I am the God. But that is after the realization. Not, like a terrorist. You think I am the God and you keep killing people. So that has to be found within. Only then you are free. And only when you free your soul, you live from truth within, you can do good to yourself and the world. By any external actions, keep doing as the mind wants. How you want to deal with the world, with the Ukraine war, with China. These are actions of the mind. These will carry on, have always been there. But real good to the world will be done by living from the truth. Now, you see the mind. Mind's basic trait is selfishness. By its very action of selfishness, mind is depleting spiritual energy in the world. And truth within its basic trait is unselfishness. That's why it is generally, there's a phrase that unselfishness is God. So when unselfishness act, you will go to yourself and the world. And nothing more needs to be done. Though you still do what you can, but free your own soul, you will go to yourself and the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. John, do you have anything you want to say or add? I think we probably should be coming to a close in a bit.
Sorry, I messed up on my time. I'm in Central Time Zone, so I'm 2 zones ahead of you. Somehow
Yeah.
I missed on the time. But back to referring to some reference of Jesus. I jokingly say that if I was one of Jesus's disciples, I would have been doubting Thomas.
I think we all have that quality.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, Manjit. I was going to say this evening, but it's just morning for you. And I want to make sure I give your X Twitter handle. I call it X Twitter, so people can find you if they watch this video. You're at Manjit, MANJIT 944-89911.
That's right.
Yes. So I really appreciate you and your vision, and I hope that people will be able to find this video and benefit from your experience of truth.
Thank you, Manjit. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
you,
thank
sir.
you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
David.
I was thinking, I was also going to ask David if is it okay with you, Bruce, if I get your information and contact you?
Sure,
Yeah,
of course.
I'll connect you both.
That's
I'll
wonderful.
connect you as well, John, and connect you all.
Good.
Yeah, this has
You're-
been wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
you
you
all.
again. God bless.
Good night, gentlemen.
Okay,
Good
thank
night.
you. Thank you. Thanks a
Good night.
lot. Very good
Thank
conversation.
you.
Bye-bye.